Yo everyone, hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be reviewing Nectar 3 and giving you an overview, showing you how it works, how I've used it to release one of my singles, and how you can use it to mix your vocals basically. Now, vocal mixing is a very important part of creating music, especially if you're trying to create your own music at home, and it can be really complicated. Now, I took a few years, about nearly 3 years break from music, so when I came back into it, all the knowledge that I had about mixing my vocals and whatnot, some of it was there, most of it dissipated into the air. I needed something that would help me do good mixes really quickly, and Nectar really helps do that. They've got this automatic feature that allows you to basically let the AI mix your vocals for you to give you a starting point, and then you can go on from there. And I was able to find my way around Nectar and use it in a way that made some good vocal mixes. So I'm going to show you how to do that in this video, because if you don't know how to do that, nothing can save your song. If you can't get your vocals sounding right, vocals is the main part of the song. If you can't do that, the song's definitely going to sound crap. So this is very important, and the thing that Nectar does is it has everything in one box, so you don't need to go and buy a bunch of different plugins in order to get your vocal mix where you want to get. So if you don't know who I am, I'm Jay Carter Ray from jcarterray.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online marketing and online business. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click that subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel, because you will love it here. Now let's get right into it. I do have a project in the background of my single Hill, but as you can see, we don't have any of the stems in here because I changed all the stems from the original beat name to Hill, and then, you know, FL Studio couldn't find it, so I've just brought in the beat basically. So this isn't the proper mix, but the thing with this is Nectar does have a great feature which allows you to basically unmask your vocals from the beat. So I'm gonna basically walk through all what Nectar can do basically, and give you some examples of a before and after of what I got it to do and what it can do automatically. Now, I must warn you, my new vocal mixing channel uses elements of Nectar from it, and I have learned better mixing since I made this song that you'll see in the background. So I've got a better mixing channel, but I also use other plugins because I've just got an insanely long mixing channel at this point in time, and Nectar does have some limitations, so I'll be walking through those things in this video as well. So Vocal Assistant is the automatic machine learning type thing that you get with Nectar that basically automatically mixes your vocals and gets your vocals sounding all right, pretty good, with compression, some EQing, some de-essing, and I believe that's pretty much what you'll get from that. So we can look at that right now before we get into vocal masking and all that sort of stuff. So actually, I want to look at both of them at the same time, so let's actually bring that back up. Vocal masking is where it basically takes the information from your vocal track and takes the information from your beat track, or the tracks that you have stems on. Mainly it should be your main melody or whatever is clashing with your vocals, and then it helps place your vocal at the forefront of the mix, moving other competing mix elements out of the way automatically, which you use with Relay. It also comes with Melodyne 4 Essential and RX Breath Control, and it does have auto tuning capabilities within Nectar itself, but Melodyne is for really in-depth stuff. If you're trying to create a great pop song but you don't want it to sound like it's been tuned, you probably use Melodyne because you want to get in a little bit deeper. You can use auto tune as well, but Melodyne's where it's at. So let's go through this. I actually haven't used Melodyne anytime recently, so we're not going to be talking about that, but we will be talking about the vocal unmasking and the Vocal Assistant. And by the end of this video, I will be letting you know whether Nectar 3 is worth the price or not. So let me bring up my mixing module over here, our mixing rack, And here are our main vocals. So as you can see, we've got auto tune, then Maximus, which DS is, and then we've got Nectar, and then we've got some EQing, which honestly might not be that necessary. It's not too bad actually, we'll leave that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use Nectar. I'm going to add a new instance of that, and I'm going to turn off everything else so you can see what Nectar. We'll leave on the auto tune because I don't need to embarrass myself that much. So we'll turn off Maximus and the Nectar that we got on before, and we'll also turn off the EQ so we can let Nectar do its job. So here, let's make this detached, and we'll just go to a point in the song. Too taxing, too expensive, maybe we be better. So that's just this, just adding Nectar and not doing anything else right about now. Too taxing, too expensive. I do have reverb and a delay in there. Or is that a lie we tell ourselves so this won't end quick? Ooh. Tell me how I make you feel. We got a good thing going on, so please don't change the deal. Living in your own reality won't make it real, no. Is it me or just my sanity you're trying to kill? Tell me. Every time I get away, something just keeps bringing me back. Sorry, I just don't know where the information is getting sent to this from. Like, why is that having sound over there? It shouldn't at this point in time, but that's besides the point. So this is just automatically not doing anything. If I turn this off, let's turn off Nectar. Too taxing, too expensive, maybe we be better off as friends instead. Sounds a little bit less clear, but it doesn't actually sound too bad, probably because I've already just edited multiple different things together to create that. But it doesn't sound like we need super harsh EQing here, although we probably do. Too taxing, too expensive, maybe we be better. And there was probably some variations in levels without, you know, some good compression. But let's just go to the chorus, and what we'll do is we'll turn on Vocal Assistant and allow Vocal Assistant to create its own vocal mix. So we actually want to also unmask this from the beat. So this is the beat here. We'll just name this beat, and we need to add relay onto this. So there is relay, and what relay does is it feeds this information to any isotope plugins. So we'll name this beat, and now we should be able to use Vocal Assistant to assist to create a custom preset to fit my vocals in the mix, and we'll be able to use unmask. Now generally I wouldn't use unmask because I don't like what it does. Like, sometimes it will EQ your vocals too much and just move some stuff around and continue moving throughout the beat, and it sometimes has some weird effects. So usually I just assist and just then move and mix from there, but we'll try out unmasking. We'll see what's going on. Now we will go modern and we will go aggressive, because this is like well, it's actually more of a laid back type thing. I'm not really rapping in this, so let's go modern, and we'll go modern. I did go aggressive my first time doing this, and let's play this back. Loving you is like a hill, yeah. Every time I run up, I fall back for real, yeah. When the sun is up, I'm in your shade, yeah. Promise that you'll never change, yeah. Hey. Loving you is like a hill, yeah. Every time I run up, I fall back for real. When the sun is up, I'm in your shade, yeah. Promise that you'll change and never change, yeah. Hey. Misery loves company. I just wanna build companies. I can run from you, can't run from me. Oh, I gotta love myself. I gotta wish you well and hope that you get well, yeah. No hard feelings, no regrets, yeah. Okay, so with this mix, it's supposedly unmasked my vocals from the beat, and it's done a fair amount of EQing. Actually, this is a lot of EQing, way more EQing than I think it done last time I did this, so it does a pretty good job. It's got taking out some stuff around 4. I probably want to take out some stuff around 3 though, so let's listen.
Loving you is like a hill. Yeah, every time I run up, I fall back for real.
See that tinny stuff? We definitely want to get rid of that. So let's do a minus 2.8 there, and we'll stretch that Q out a little bit.
Loving you is like a hill. Yeah, every time I run up, I fall back for real.
But like, this is basically its auto stuff, so it's showing us what is taken out. It didn't activate the gate, which is weird. We do rarely need the gate. If you come back here and we listen to stuff,
real, no. Is it me or just my sanity you're trying to kill? Tell me. Every time I get,
you'll hear sometimes that things just break out and it sounds a bit weird when it stops.
Make it real, no. Is it me or just my sanity you're trying to kill? Tell me. Every time I get away, something just keeps bringing me back. Yeah, we know we've seen better days, and somehow we think we can go back, but we can't. Damn, loving you.
So we can turn on pitch correction as well, but we don't need to do that because we've already got auto tune on. But if you, for example, do not have auto tune, then you can use this. I don't know why it said that it was detecting the pitch and then it got it completely wrong. This is not C. I believe this is G minor or G melodic minor or something like that. But let's go through it. So we got the pitch, then we got a gate to get rid of, you know, the air in the background and all that sort of stuff. Then we got some EQing to get rid of the bad frequencies. Then we got a DSR to get rid of those harsh S sibilances. Then we've got some EQ again to take off the low end. Honestly, I'd take off more than that, but I don't think this is too bad. Then we got a compressor to compress everything.
Make it real, no. Is it me or just my sanity you're trying to kill?
Then they also add some reverb, but I don't like having my reverb in the same channel. I like to send my reverb elsewhere. And you can add delays. You can add this dimension thing, which basically gives you a chorus, flanger, and phaser, which I do use. I do use a flanger.
Make it real, no. Is it me or just my sanity you're trying to kill?
And then we bring that down a little bit.
Every time I get away, something just keeps bringing me back.
And just adds a little bit more flavor to it. You can also add some saturation. So we can add some tape saturation.
Make it real, no. Is it me or just my sanity you're trying to kill?
Like
tell me. Every 60. Time I get away, something just keeps bringing me back. Yeah, we know we've seen better days, and somehow we think we can go back.
Like this is pretty much mixed. Like I don't really need to do more to this. Like this sounds good to me, but I feel like my new mixing channel is just even cleaner. The only thing I really don't like about Nectar is you can't use these channels independently. So I can't like have Nectar here with a bunch of stuff and then be like, oh, I want another EQ, another compressor. You can add EQs more than once. You can add 2 EQs and 2 compressors. Yeah, so it's the channel rack is limited. You can't add 4 compressors or whatever, which is a little disappointing. And you can't add stuff from Nectar to another channel. You have to actually add the whole Nectar to add one thing from that channel, which is what I've done in my new vocal channel mixing strip, which is a little annoying because I would like to use some of these elements. For example, the saturation element, because I don't have a saturation plugin. The dimension element, because I like the way their flanger works. Maybe even not the delays, because I bought a plugin for delays. The gate, don't really need that because we've got that RX thing, which allows you to get rid of breaths and stuff in the background. And I've got Neutron 3, which gives me gates and exciters and compressors and all that sort of stuff. But I would have just liked to have been able to use the elements of this around my mix, but this is made for a complete vocal strip. So what I'll do is we'll play it from the beginning of the verse, and then we'll basically turn off the automatic thing that we got, and we'll add the other thing that I was using, which I believe I went in there and mixed it a little bit more. So this is the automatic.
Got a small place, safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing, too expensive. Oh, maybe we'd be better off as friends instead. Or is that a lie we tell ourselves so this won't end quick? Oh, tell me how I make you feel. We got a good thing going on, so please don't change the deal.
Alright, so now we'll do the other Nectar with, let me quickly walk through that. So we've got, you know, pitch correction on the right pitch. We've got a gate, we've got some EQing, much less EQing. We haven't really got the right places. I've got a little bit around 3. I probably needed a bit more EQing there, but this was when I was just getting back into it. Didn't really know exactly what I needed. We got some compression, some saturation, some delay, some dimension. So let's play this back.
Got a small place, safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing, too expensive. Maybe we'd be better off as friends instead. Or is that a lie we tell ourselves so this won't end quick? Oh, tell me how I make you feel.
I think I've overdone it on the EQ. Like, it's a bit too much, and it sounds a bit thin from here. Let me play back the other one again.
Got a small place.
This is the automatic one.
Got a small place, safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing, too expensive. Oh, maybe we'd be better off as friends instead. Or is that a lie we tell ourselves so this won't end quick? Oh, tell me how I make you feel.
And it just sounds way better. And I believe I did the automatic thing, but I didn't do the unmasking thing. And I went in there and changed things around, and somehow I made it sound worse than the automatic thing. I'm actually in disbelief right about now. I didn't know that the automatic thing would sound so much better, but it does sound louder as well. So that is something to think about.
Got a small place,
like, let's see where that's hitting.
In my head. Loving you is too taxing.
That's hitting at like 15. And if we was to do that,
got a small place, safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing.
Seems like it's hitting less, but it just feels like there's less body in there.
Got a small place, safe for you in my head.
Like that feels like I'm talking into the mic and you can hear what's going on. Like, it just feels better to me, to be honest. So I don't know what I was going through in my mixing of this song, but it was a long time coming, and I spent a long time on it. So maybe I just wanted to get it done. My new mixing is way better, but I just showed you how the quality of the vocal assistant is there. Like, it enables you to mix your trap or singing vocals really easily, and to just get up and running. And you saw how relay worked and that sort of stuff. I didn't use Melodyne 4 RX breath control, but I don't think that's necessary. I did look through basically all this sort of stuff except for harmony, which we can try out now. Why not? Fling some harmony on air. It's the only thing I haven't really used. So,
got a small place, safe for you in my head.
It's basically like a doubler.
Got a small place, safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing, too expensive. Oh, maybe we'd be better. Got a small place, safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing, too expensive. Oh, maybe we'd be better off as friends instead. Or is that a lie we tell ourselves so this won't end quick? Oh, tell me how I make you feel. We got a good thing going on, so please don't change the deal.
That's pretty cool. That's a nice doubler still. So you've got pretty much everything you need in the box here. The only thing that needs to be done, in my opinion, is these need to be components that you can break out so that you can put into sends and that sort of stuff to have a fully customizable vocal chain. That's the only thing that's annoying here, because then if you want to send this to another effect, you've then got to add Nectar to that effect as well. And when I had my CPU that was lower than this, I believe it's like 1700 or something. I don't know where I left I think it's down there. I think it was like an AMD 1700 or something whack like that. My computer wouldn't have been able to have that many Nectars. Like it's at its wit's end when you try and add too many Nectars. So if you got low CPU computing power, then it might be a little hard for you to add a bunch of Nectars, but just one to deal with all your vocal problems. And especially if you're not trained in mixing, or you just want to get a good vocal mix really quickly, then this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. And you can control this by adding more voices, changing the pitch variation.
God's song plays safe for you in my head. Loving you is too taxing, too expensive. Or maybe we be better.
You can filter it.
Instead. Or is that a lie we tell ourselves so this won't end quick? Oh, tell me how I make.
Very interesting stuff there. Very interesting stuff. So the compressor is pretty cool. There's a bunch of different options inside these modules as well, which I believe I already glanced over them. So let's look into the compressor module real quick. So here we've got solid state, digital, vintage, optical. So basically all these compressors sound a little bit different, so you can try those out. And also in what else did we have? A bunch of different saturation. We got tape, analog, retro, tube, warm, decimate, distort, stuff like that. EQ is pretty much an EQ. DSR, you can move the frequency and you can listen specifically to the S's. So you can do it automatically, and then you can come in and move stuff around and get things exactly where you want it to be. Reverb is cool. I never use this reverb though, so I can't really speak on it. I always use the DSR and compressor and that sort of stuff. And that's basically everything in Nectar. Next thing we've got is the pricing, which you can get Nectar Elements, which is at $29 right about now. That's crazy. But let's see what you actually get, because that's very important to know what you're actually getting with this. Here we go. So here we can see exactly what we get. Let me stop pressing view more. Here we can see exactly what we're getting here. In Nectar Elements, which is just $29, which is a great deal, to be honest. Just grab this in. You get vocal assistant, EQ, vocal assistant compressor, reverb, and DSR. So it will do the EQs for you and it will do the compression for you, which is pretty much all you really need. Everything else you can do yourself. And you get the reverb, you get the DSR. That's all you get, basic stuff. With the Nectar EQ, you get the follow EQ mode. You get the relay plugin, so you can start using that vocal unmasking. You get Melodyne 4 Essential, RX7 breath control, vocal assistant, and pretty much everything that I already showed you. So I'm assuming you don't get all the modules in this one, but it's a great way to start out, and then you can upgrade. And obviously as you upgrade, it will knock the price of this off the upgrade, so you can definitely go that way. If you're going to get Nectar, please go through my link at jcarterray.com/Nectar3. I am honestly more sold on it now than I was at the beginning of this video, because I went through my mix and just did an automatic mix and it just sounded way fuller and better, to be honest. So to see that, and to see that, you know, maybe they did get it right and I didn't need to go in there and do all that sort of stuff to be at that point, it's like, yo, this is definitely worth the money, especially if you have no idea what you're doing. Like I had no idea. Well, I had some idea, but even so, Nectar still had a better idea than I did on mixing my vocals, and they did a better job than I did. And if I was to remix the song and I put out this version, it might even sound better. But I was trying to aim for a certain type of sound, and I was listening to other tracks that didn't sound as warm. So I think that's why I took away so much of that low end and whatnot. But I also wasn't able to fully do parallel compression and all that sort of stuff within Nectar. You can do parallel compression in Nectar and all that sort of stuff, but I wanted to be able to send my vocals to another track and use plugins on that and all that sort of stuff, which you can do. But with Nectar, you'd have to open up a whole new Nectar. If you want one easy way to get set up, if you don't know much, Nectar's where it's at. And then as you add more plugins to your suite down the road, you can add more deeper technological effects to your mixes and that sort of stuff down the road. But starting out, Nectar is a great way to basically get your songs up and ready for release without having to think about it too much. Like, it's like 1, 2, you're done. You can get in there and move stuff around, and it's good to have some background knowledge on how to mix. But basically, you don't really have to do much. So I highly recommend it. I think it's more than worth the price at $29 just to get in there and see what's up. At $249, it's a bit more expensive. Is it worth the price at $249? I mean, if you was to get all these plugins, like all the different elements that you get in this plugin in different packages, you'd probably end up spending that anyways, especially like with a good saturation plugin and stuff. Obviously, if you went the cheap route, you'd be able to get it cheaply. But if you was to buy a bunch of plugins, like the other week I bought, I think 4 plugins and I got 2 of them free. So I bought 4 plugins and I got 2 free. I got 6 plugins in all, and I believe I spent like £150 or something. So a few more plugins and I'd be at the $259. So I feel like for everything all in one place, and to just get your vocals mixed and up and running really easily like this does, and no other program will do that for you. Every other program, you need to have the know-how to know what you're doing. This is more than worth the price. Just for the ease of use, more than worth the price. So I highly suggest it. Grab it ASAP, do your thing, check it out. But if you're going to get this, you might want to get the vocal bundle, because you do get vocal synth in there as well, which is pretty nice. I'll be doing a review on that and showing you how to use vocal synth in future videos. But I hope this video has helped you out. If you got any questions or other reviews that you want me to make, please let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know if you've used Nectar. If you're going to try and use Nectar, let me know. That is like my question of the day. And in the next video, you'll learn more about music, online marketing, and online business. So I'll see you there. Peace out.